Alright, folks, it is officially week 12 of the NCAA college football season. We've got like, what, 2 weeks left and we're done. It's over. We're going to have the big conference championship games, and then it's time for the playoffs and the big bowl games around New Year's. So it's been a fun ride while it's last. Alright, so it's Thursday. The big game is Louisville taking on Houston. Of course, you got all that stuff going on about Louisville possibly stealing Wake Forest playbook, doing stuff straight out of Tiny Toons. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's really going to have much bearing on this matchup whatsoever. Houston's kind of in free fall mode. Louisville's a 14.5 point favorite, but I'm going to say they're only going to win by 7. The over under is 68.5. I'm going to say keep it slightly under. Friday we got UNLV taking on Boise State. Boise State's a 28.5 point favorite. Over under is 66. I'm going to say go above that, and I'll give it to Boise State by 10. I think that's way too high. They have not been blowing teams out, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Oklahoma State taking on TCU. TCU is a 4.5 point favorite. Over under is 70.5. It's going to go over, and I'll actually go for the upset here. I think Oklahoma State can win by 4.5, so put your money down on that. Ohio State against Michigan State. Michigan State sucks. Ohio State, they're really good. And even though the game is at East Lansing, Ohio State's a 22.5 point favorite. Over under is 52.5. I'm going to say go over for the over under, and I'll give it to Ohio State by 14. Like I said, I'll go double digits, but not by 4 touchdowns. We got Texas San Antonio against Texas A&M, and if you care about this matchup, you really have a gambling problem. A&M's 27.5 point favorite. Over under is 57.5. I'm going to say go over, and I'll give it to A&M by 14. Give them a 2 touchdown lead. Ooh, that's crazy. We got Maryland taking on Nebraska. Nebraska's ranked 18. So whoever wins this one possibly has a shot at taking on Ohio State or Michigan at year's end and playing spoiler there. So the line right now is Nebraska 13.5. We don't even have an over/under yet. For over/under, I'd go over 60. And Nebraska, they can win about 14 points. I'll give it to them. Wisconsin at Purdue. Wisconsin a 28-point favorite. Over/under is 48.5. I'm going to say go over that. I think Wisconsin alone can score probably 48 points in this kind of a competition. Wisconsin, they'll win by 20. I almost want to go with the full 28, but it's kind of iffy. Florida, traveling to LSU finally, because remember the original game was canceled because of Hurricane Matthew. So LSU's a 14.5 point favorite. Over under is 39. Somebody's got to win the SEC East. And you know what? I'm going to go with the upset here. I think Florida can win. They have terrible offense, but they have a really good defense, especially stopping the run. And that's pretty much all LSU has, frankly, is just being able to run the ball. Their offense, aerial, I don't think is that great. And I think Florida's better defensively, so I think Florida will win 7 points. First major upset call of the week. Oregon at Utah. Utah's a 14.5 point favorite. Over under 70.5. I'm going to say go under for the over/under. I'll give it to Utah by 7. Missouri at Tennessee. Tennessee's a 16-point favorite. Over under 67. I'm going to say go under, and I'm going to give it to Tennessee by only 3. So I think it's going to be a close one because Tennessee has a way of sucking late in the fourth quarter and blowing leads. Washington State against Colorado, and our surprisingly, how is this a great relevant matchup in Week 12 in the year 2016? Colorado, a 4.5 point favorite, over under 60.5. I'm going to go with Washington State to get the upset. I'm going to give them the 4.5 lead, and I'm going to go over 60.5 on this one. Indiana at Michigan. Michigan's a 24-point favorite, over under is 50.5. I'm going to say keep it over 50.5, and I'm going to go with Michigan to win by. Yeah, we'll give them 24 points. I think that's pretty good. That actually might be generous, really. Buffalo against Western Michigan. Buffalo has won 2 games this year and lost 8. Western Michigan is undefeated. They're a 35-point favorite. Over is 57.5. I'll give it to Western Michigan by 20, and I'll keep the over/under above 57.5. Florida State at Syracuse. Florida State, 21-point favorite. Over under 63.5. I really can't quibble with that. I might actually lower it to about 14 points for Florida State, but over under I'll go over. Stanford at Cal. Stanford's 11-point favorite. Over under 66. I've been telling everybody Stanford is the best 3-loss team in the country right now. A backhanded compliment, but still. So I'll give Stanford that one. They can win by 11 points. I'll go over 66 on that one. Chattanooga at Alabama. They don't even have a line for it because it's so ridiculous to even think Chattanooga has a chance here. But if I had to take a guess, and it is Thursday, so they could have a line set up they're going to have a line by Friday. I'm going to go with Alabama wins by 28 points. I'm going to keep the over 60. Alabama's going to score a lot of points. Chattanooga is going to hurt. Clemson at Wake Forest. I think this could be a trap game. I mean, I think Clemson, they already lost that one game to Pittsburgh, and Wake Forest to me is a way better team than Pittsburgh. I'm doing it. I'm calling it. I think Clemson loses again. I think Wake Forest goes in there and they upset them. They win it by 6 points. Over under is 47 in defensive deadlock, and after that, anarchy reigns. Alabama A&M against Auburn. Auburn, of course, had that tough loss against Georgia last week. Once again, there's not a lineup yet because, it's kind of hard to figure out how you put in, 100 points on the over-under. Auburn should win this one. I mean, if they don't, we've got some huge, huge problems down there in Opelika. Is that what it's called? Opelika, Alabama, where Auburn plays? I know they're technically playing Auburn, but it's Auburn, Opelika. They're like the Twin Cities. I'm going to give Auburn this win by 20 points. I'm going to keep the over-under over 60. Arizona State against Washington. Washington's a 27-point favorite, 64.5 over-under. I'm going to say go under that, and I'm going to have Washington win by 10. A little bit closer than people expect. Probably the best game we're going to have all week. Oklahoma against West Virginia. Whoever wins this one very well could win the Big 12. Doesn't have a championship game, remember. Oklahoma's a 3.5-point favorite. Over under 65.5. I'm going to say go over. I think it's going to be a score fest. I think West Virginia's going to win. I think they go in there and they bump off the Sooners and they wait and see what craziness happens. They could actually find themselves sliding into the national playoffs. Stranger things have happened, I know, but it's a possibility. I think it starts with this game. All right, Penn State against Rutgers. PSU's a 28-point favorite. I think that's actually probably an underestimate for what Penn State can do in this kind of matchup. Over is 57. I'm going to say go slightly over. Go with the points. Don't even bother. And lastly, USC against UCLA. Trojan a 13.5-point favorite. Over under is set at 53. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go USC to win by 12 points just because. And over under, I'm going to go above 53. So not a whole lot of craziness, it seems. There's about 2 or 3 really good competitive matchups, but like I said, once you have 1 week of upsets, it just keeps building. You get more and more. So keep your eyes tuned. I think the playoff picture is going to get very, very murky by the time Sunday rolls around. All right, so those are my picks. We got 2 weeks left. My caveat: kids, don't bet on sports. It's bad. Go on the stock market and gamble your life savings away there. Because that's way better a means of losing your life and ruining your family. So do that instead. Never on sports. And I'll be seeing you on the field as always.